This is my second short ride on part of the weirdly named Gravel Crusher route, put together by the Ride the Highlands organisation. Last time I finished off in Tamworth, which is where this ride starts. That time I was riding my old Moto Guzzi. This time I'm on the much newer 1992 Honda Goldwing. How will it handle the gravel roads? We shall see. From Tamworth there's a bit of a ride on paved roads until just past Erinsville, and the turn onto the unpaved Waddell Road. Don't worry, this isn't going to be a blow-by-blow, turn-by-turn guide. Just my impressions of riding the big beast on these back roads. I've now ridden quite a few sections of the various Ride the Highlands routes. They're a nice mix of paved and unpaved roads, with a few short bits of unmaintained track thrown in to spice it up a bit. My bikes are fine on gravel, but not really suited to anything requiring off-road skill, so I've tended to avoid those segments. Nevertheless, most of these routes can be ridden perfectly safely on street bikes with street tyres, as long as you're careful. After a few kilometres of gravel and a short interlude on this rural paved road, I reach this first bridge. I think it's the Clare River, or one of its many tributaries. This area is a relatively flat limestone plain, cut by numerous small rivers and creeks, with swamps and wetlands filling every hollow. Some of it's farmed, some scrub, but it's pleasant enough, if not particularly exciting terrain. The beauty of these Ride the Highlands routes is that they string together roads which I might not necessarily have gone down otherwise. They don't take the most direct route to anywhere, but combine as many unpaved sections as they could find. I could probably have lived the rest of my life and never ventured down some of these roads. You can think you know an area, then something like this pops up and shows you that you don't. Another bridge, another river, another chance to view the world instead of racing past. You could ride these routes and never stop, but where's the value in that? I guess I was lucky this day. The roads were in good condition and the rain a day or two earlier had dampened the gravel without turning it into a sloppy mush. At no time did I think I would have been better off on a different bike. The Goldwing was an easy and stable companion. Old farms, gently rolling fields, more creeks and bridges. There's something wonderful about drifting along with no need to be at a particular place at a particular time. After passing through the village of Tweed, there was a lengthy section of paved road before the route found another gravel road and headed north for a while before dropping down into the valley of the Moira River. Once again, I stopped to look at the water before rolling on along the old Marmara Road. Just before reaching the village of Marmara, I pulled into the Marmara Mine Road to look at the Marmaraton Mine Quarry. 130 feet of limestone had to be removed from the top in order to gain access to the iron ore below. By the time the mine was done, they'd excavated in a series of steps to a depth of 700 feet. When I first saw the hole there was little more than a puddle in the bottom, but it's filled up with rain and groundwater since. And then it was time to head into Marmara for lunch. As usual, I popped into a Tim Hortons for a coffee and a muffin. Oh, and an apple fritter too. My ride didn't stop in Marmara, and although the after-lunch miles and the ride home were pleasant enough, they were along familiar roads which, if you've seen some of my other videos, would seem vaguely familiar. Obviously, the Goldwing isn't an off-road bike, but these were all perfectly ordinary roads and not off-roading at all. Eventually all these back roads will fall prey to the municipal chip and tar work crews. For now, though, they provide just a little enjoyment for those of us who like that slightly squirmy feeling beneath our wheels. Long may they remain that way. I have a new book out, containing road tales and stories of my motorcycling disasters and exploits. Like all the others, it's available in paperback and digital formats, and will soon be available as an audiobook like all the others. They're cheap and amusing. Look 'em up, and thanks for watching.